Hey YouTube, Coppersan here. Aran and Shade have been remastered. Have you already been hyperburning one? And if not, I highly recommend Shade, as he is super easy to level up, super easy to boss with, a very supportive class, and most importantly, his Legion effect increases critical damage, which is very powerful. Aran is no slouch either though, and is very strong pre-6 job, making him an excellent bossing mule. So today we're checking out both the remastered classes. Also, I'm not covering the story in this video, so no spoilers here, we're just looking at the skills. Starting with my old main, Shade. Let's go over the bossing and mobbing and see how it's different compared to before. Thankfully, we still mob with Bomb Punch. The animation of this skill is still pretty long, but can be cancelled by simply pressing an arrow key. Additionally, like before, most skill animations can be cancelled with Shade's backdash. Shade still has their backdash and teleporter skill that target either the ground or monsters that are in range, so mobility wise, not really any changes there. However, when mobbing, that's where the first differences come in. Spirit Frenzy is now a place down summon which lasts 45 seconds, plus 1 second more for every enemy defeated, up to 60 seconds in total. The hyper skill Spirit Bond Max has been removed, so of course this means no more Moonbeam and no more liver collecting, as the new Fox Marble Fusion hyper skill simply boosts your Fox Spirits, those little orbs that pop out and that attack multiple times. The stats this hyper skill buff previously gave were moved elsewhere, giving you a permanent damage increase, not relying on this skill anymore. So no more liver eating for you, no more vitamin A overdose. Another big change has been done to the Spirit Flow 5th job skill. We cannot buff Spirit Frenzy anymore with this skill, instead it gets a passive 4th job power up. This new 5th job skill does still reset your cooldowns and provides a buff and attacks enemies. However, it now has its own attacks and no longer uses your 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th job and hyper skill attacks. So no, you no longer need to buff all your skills anymore for that. The skill now also fully heals you for 30 seconds, it heals you every second, making you a lot harder to kill. Grinding is still very easy with Shade, which is Bomb Punch and all the subbans and additional stuff, and it's as mobile as ever. And the bossing is a little bit different too, but before we continue the video, we will check out today's video sponsor, Awesome. These sponsorships help keep the channel going, so your support is always greatly appreciated. Awesome has a special limited deal until the 5th of December, where you get 3 extra months if you buy a 1-year plan, and the Pro and Game plan have a big discount, so do keep that in mind. When I'm traveling for work or visiting family, I never miss out on my dailies and login rewards thanks to Awesome. With this all-in-one remote access tool, I can play MapleStory from my phone or even catch some old school vibes playing in Artale, as the MapleStory World's mobile client still isn't released. Using the game mode, I can customize my game keyboard so I can play different classes using different buttons. And of course, the usability doesn't just end there. You can also use the remote access to transfer files you forgot to send, or even turn off your PC in case you want to save some money on that electricity bill. If you want to try this out yourself, you can use the code appearing on the screen right now to get a free 7-day trial of Awesome Remote Game. Like before, this is only for the first 200 people, so act quickly. Head over to the Awesome website, sign in, click on rewards, fill out the code and you're in. You can then easily set up your screen mirroring with your QR code, and once the trial ends, just using the app will reward you with Sunshine, which can be used to get more days of Awesome Game or Pro. Awesome sometimes also offers additional free days, you know, just like that. There is a free plan that you can always install, but there also is the Pro plan and the Game plan, and I'm using the Game plan myself for that customizable keyboard. Adding more devices also gives a discount per plan, so you can check out the Awesome app or website if you want to learn more about this remote tool software itself. Don't forget about the code and the special Black Friday deal. It is only available until the 5th of December, so act fast. And now back to the video. When bossing, your rotation is a bit different now, as Spirit Frenzy is a place down summon now, which is nice and also a bit meh at the same time, as you're no longer stuck casting Spirit Frenzy where you're spinning to win like before. But if you have mobile bosses that can just move away from the skill, that also means that you miss out on a little bit of damage, but I also feel like this skill is not really your main damage dealing skill anymore. And also it's kind of funny that it works that way, because with the old Shade, their 5th job skill Spirit Gate would summon spirits on a set place for a certain period of time that will deal damage and debuff a monster. But now this skill was changed to just be a regular skill that leaves a big critical rate and critical damage debuff in one go. You just press the skill, attacks happen, no summon anymore, which is really nice, as you can now make use of the full attack unlike before, but now Spirit Frenzy has sort of the same weakness. Interesting choice. Their Blade Imp skill was changed as well. You can now choose if you want to pull monsters towards you or just from above you or just slash. This skill leaves a debuff as well, so it's important to use it. I usually just use the slash one. But now you can change that with a different skill if you want to. Another change was made to Soul Splitter. Nexon decided to just write a small freaking book in the skill description. There's so much text. This skill no longer pushes out a copy of the monster or the soul of a monster where you can attack both of them at the same time. Instead, it creates a wall of flames, and your party members need to stand in that wall of flames to receive a 15% final damage buff, which is pretty huge. Shade still retains his role as debuffer and buffer for the party. Shade is still as colorful as ever as well, with easy mobbing. He's a tanky bosser with useful debuffs, and he has a ton of healing and revives. Even more healing now thanks to his new 5th skill Foxglove Flash. His burst does require a bit of setup though. First you need to apply 3 debuffs and placing down a summon. I would say damage wise he's pretty mid, but thanks to all the healing and tankiness he's just as fun as ever, and in my opinion pretty fun to boss with. At least that's why I started maining Shade a few years ago. So some jank got removed, some improvements. Overall I would say this is a pretty good remaster, not commenting on the story of course. Aran got changed a lot as well. Visually he feels more like Hoyoung now, with different colored beasts as his Beyond Blade now even summons a freaking turtle, a bird, a dragon and a tiger. Beyond Blade now has a second job skill that gets buffed with every job advancement. Your combo skills are still there and still activate with your attack key like before your attack and arrow keys, where you can mash them in a certain combination, then your skill pops out. You're still mobbing with Beyond Blade though, and similar to Shade, Arans now have a 60-second polearm summon called Permafrost that deals damage to nearby enemies. I think slowly everyone is turning into Michal, where he summons a shield and now Aran can summon a polearm. Your old Maha's Domain Harp skill is gone now. In its place is another skill that's used when bossing called Last Stand, so that polearm summon is gone. Also interesting to note is that combos don't really matter that much anymore after you max out the 3rd job skill Advanced Combo, because the bonus you would get from having more combo is just always passively applied. You will still need to get 1000 combos to activate Adrenaline Rush. Another big change is the way Aran's combo attacks work, where you use your arrows in a regular attack to activate a certain skill. Aran could just use the skills with the arrow keys in the regular attacking skill, or just assign a skill to a key and then use it that way like every other class. Now before, using the combo with your attack and arrow keys changed the effect or damage of a skill, like the range of some skills was increased. But right now, besides the jumping range from Final Toss, there isn't really any point anymore in using your regular attack and arrow keys, as there is no added benefit, which is quite interesting. So you basically, Arans now have 2 options to use skills. One of them is the normal way, and one of them is with like assigning a skill to a key, and then one is the attack plus arrows combo that you have to remember. But that doesn't really add anything, so there's not really a reason to do it besides saving space on your keyboard. So that's quite an interesting change. To me it feels like that added benefit should be there, and those key combo attacks need to be a bit more useful as well, so they don't get outshined by Beyond Blade that much, at least in my opinion. But Aran's biggest change is done to her bossing, especially Adrenaline Rush. This skill can only be activated when you hit 1k combos like before. However, this skill no longer increases your damage or gives any other additional stats. I'm assuming that most of the boosts were added to the passives. However, Aran did lose out on some combat power after Remaster. I keep hearing people saying that she's stronger before 6th job, but weaker after. So now instead with Adrenaline Rush, you deal a little bit of damage with a new skill effect called Ice Flow that only is active during Adrenaline Rush. And like before, you have access to your special finishers when the skill is active too. Adrenaline Rush also refunds a bit of your combos whenever you use it, depending on how many attacks you landed when the skill is active, which feels kinda useless because this skill now has a 90-second cooldown, so even if you get back like 500 combos and you're back to 1k combos like in 30 seconds, you still need to wait for the cooldown to finish before you can activate it again. Your hyper skill that activates Adrenaline Rush again, even without building up combos, was called Adrenaline Burst, but it has been removed. Instead, you now get a skill called Maha's Blessing that gives you a 2-second invincibility frame. That I guess was taken over from Maha's Domain, because that hyper skill is gone now as well. But unfortunately, with Maha's Domain being gone, you will lose out on the secondary effects that skill had, which was HP and MP recovery, and the normal status is recovery also for your party. That's just completely gone now. I couldn't find any other skill or passive that does that. So you lose out on a bit of healing, and you no longer clear statuses for yourself and your party members. There is now, however, a new skill called Adrenaline Overload. This skill puts you in super adrenaline mode, and it can be activated by landing 10 attacks during Adrenaline Rush. This skill has a 180-second cooldown, so you can only use it every 2 Adrenaline Rushes. When Adrenaline Overload is active, your Super Saiyan Adrenaline mode, your passive Adrenaline damage dealing skill that just attacks every now and then gets boosted, and you get access to your new hyper skill called Last Stand, which you need to tap 3 times to get the full effect. Additionally, the effects of Adrenaline Surge, your new 5th skill that replaces Maha's Fury, are increased. Aran is a great bossing mule as the class is quite easy to play, but I can't help but shake the feeling that the remaster, for Aran at least, was a big miss. This class feels less unique now and plays more like most other classes. The combo mechanic isn't really that rewarding and kind of feels useless. If Adrenaline Rush has a cooldown and you get all your passive buffs right away, then why is the combo thing even there to begin with? But don't let my opinion persuade you from trying out this class though, and definitely get it to level 210 if you haven't already for the level 3 Link skill. What do you think of the remastered Aran and Shade? Let me know in the comments, and that's all I had for today. Many thanks for watching and many thanks to our members making these videos possible. Special thanks to Niels de Coninck, Raar, Waar, Sebastian, Hanøy, Caudimorda, Wiley, BackSpaceOTI, Ziggy, Flidiot, Knivesu, Cloudfix, Michael, Menchaca, Raythius, Betrayal1489, Sylvio, Neto, StrikerElk, Ryaiser, Aryu, PCGAMELIFE, The Passenger, maxBurnHeart, ScottyFlysFast, Only, Lordvasile, Spatsy, Dante Victory, Snuffupop, Quinn, Dewey Tran, Veke Botnet, Megu, The Wolf Drake, Matthew Def, Groggo, Gabriel Eck, Knivesu, Max Mink, and Domi Kirch-nehammer. Thank you so much for watching, stay safe and happy mapling!